this, that you can win in your health. But you got to be willing to yield to God's will when it comes down to your health. Yield to heal. Yield to heal. See, crops are eventually supposed to yield some type of, fruit or something from their labor. These trees are yielding us the oxygen that we need. And the phytonicide, y'all know I'm country. I have a hard time saying that word, but that's all right. Phytonicides, the antioxidants as well that we need. So here's the thing. But when you got an endocrine disruptor that we are literally paying to disrupt our gut microbiome, but not only that, the mucal lining in your stomach. I ain't talking about something that I heard. I'm not talking about some conjecture. Listen, I don't. If you understand what it takes to go through the licensing process in this state, in most states, at least 33 of them, there's a lot to this, y'all. There's a lot of anatomy and physiology that you have to have. But in my actual healthcare discipline of sports medicine, ours is the most applied because we got to give right now results. And I'm telling you, CCK is a bad mama jamma. But you letting Judas do you in. You letting Judas, listen, pin your CCK to the cross because you fooling around with that canned soda. You fooling around with soda, period. You got the BPA, and here's the thing: a lot of y'all don't realize you buying these BPA free products at the dollar store and stuff, but you don't realize they got their kissing cousin up in there, BPF, BPS. So they took out the A, but guess what they put in? They cousin F and S, and guess what they doing? Disrupting. They're disrupting. Y'all, I need y'all to understand this. Excuse me. McDonald's is real successful for a reason, y'all. They real successful. There's a reason why people keep craving and craving and craving. Why? Because they got Judas working for them, betraying you every single step of the way. They actually have tongues in a lab. They actually employ some of the best scientific minds to help create heavy users, meaning to play around with the chemistry of it so that you can be addicted. How do you get addicted? How do you go ahead and continue to bypass, your satiety hormones? It's not just leptin. See, a lot of y'all only heard about leptin, but see, CCK actually can turn a switch in your brain. PYY, oh, listen, them some bad mama jammers. GLP-1 ain't the only ones. Yes, CCK is a bad mama jammer. It can really truly go hard in the paint. But what do you think some of the ones that's actually winning, what you think they able to do? Going on ahead and turn CCK off. And guess what? Guess who else do it? Your favorite soda company. I'm just saying. Oh, it's math, not magic. It's math, not magic. Excuse me. So let's backtrack. Canned foods are your number one public enemy one of CCK, PYY, and even your leptin levels and the GLP-1s. So, CCK is something that is really truly meant to help you, meant to protect you, and actually help you, listen, be able to slow the digestive process that's even happening within so you could stay fuller longer. But not only that, there are ways that are even non-food based to help you even stimulate, CCK. And that's what I want to get into, y'all. And then I'll open the floor for any questions, all that kind of thing. And then don't worry, just in case you forgot everything, I'm also already simulcasting this to YouTube, but I also have a cheat sheet for you. But I need you to understand when I have an athlete that really truly, let's say he's what I would call like someone that's just has very low impulse control and like to eat. And they're overweight, like meaning the whatever their contract may say. So listen, your linemen, your linebackers, there. I need y'all to understand these football players. There are like rules and regulations. There's a consequence. See, you don't have a consequence. Maybe it's not tied to your money if you come in 2 pounds overweight, on a Monday to practice. Maybe you don't have a competition that you have to have that night, but you need something that's going to help you with that discipline. So these are ways to bypass and override that chemistry. So even if if they've been playing around with them sodas or McDonald's or those type of things. I have to turn that stuff off and turn on CCK. I have to turn on PYY. I have to bypass that. And you have to understand it if you understand health science. You ain't got to have the same understanding that I have, but you can use some of these strategies that I use and others like me that we use. And this is why I do this. This is why I know that this can help so many people. Some of you who are just, you're struggling, your kids are struggling. Some of you don't understand why you keep eating at night. You don't want to miss Wednesday because I really truly got a technique that I really truly have that has helped me so much when I have, guys who are those night eaters. But here's the thing that I will caution you with before implementing any kind of these changes. You got to ask yourself, are you ready to make complete lifestyle, changes? Because a lot of the things I don't do because I know I ain't done yet. I'm addicted to them donuts. And I don't want to have to pay what it's called a fat tax. See, I don't want to play like that. So some things I'm just not going to start until I know that I'm physically ready. Like I'm mentally there in my mind because I already know I can't keep playing with Krispy Kreme. I can't keep playing with Krispy Kreme to get to a certain threshold. I understand that. I can't have Tres Leches every weekend and Dulce de Leche every weekend if I want to get to a certain point. I don't know what your advice is, but I will say this. I'm going to give you some options, some tools that you can play around with. Everything won't work for you, but something on this list will. And these are all things that stimulate CCK. But these are also some strategies that help you, stimulate CCK. Now, let me start with number one, protein. Not only just protein, but protein in a certain way. So, for instance, before a meal is had, let's say I got an athlete came in, it's 5 a.m. He is, listen, competition, like his weigh-in might be at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, maybe even 5 o'clock. So I already know I got to implement my 30 for 30. That means I got to get 30 grams of protein in right there. We ain't consuming no food. We ain't consuming no physical food. He ain't finna chew Nathaniel. You hear me what I say? And EGCG. So these are things that are also going to what? Stimulate that CCK. CCK. So this is you coming in, you ain't ate nothing. There's tons of grass-fed, great protein sources. I like a company called Metabolic, like LICK. I really truly love what they have because they also give me a rich collagen source when I'm on the road because I like to be able to travel light with it. I'll switch and use the Bulletproof brand. You can find whatever brand works for you, but I'm gonna make sure that whatever drink that I'm making for them is going to have 30 grams. Not only that, I'm going hard in the paint with the green tea. Now, what's going to give me the most potent blend of the EGCG? A matcha green tea. As long as they're not someone that's highly sensitive to caffeine, then I'm finna load you up with that. Now, I do multiple versions. It's going to be the turmeric green tea, matcha green tea, ginger green tea, and possibly pomegranate green tea, depending on how far gone they are and how much time I got to get them to make weight before they compete, right? So these are all simple things that are going to help stimulate what? CCK. CCK. And I'm gonna circle back when I go through the nutrition ways that you can promote it, right? I just wanted to give you some kinesthetic things that you could actually implement and do within, before you start your eating window, right? So next, let's say for instance, you don't have a tight deadline. You're going to have your food. If you're willing to chew your food to a pace, meaning slow down, not only are you going to actually burn more calories just from the chewing process, but you'll actually be able to stimulate CCK. Your body is designed in such a magnificent manner. Like it's ready to go and help you for your benefit. If you would just slow down, chew your food. Not only is you gonna help yourself, some of y'all, you around here, your IBS might be related to the way that you slopping everything down real quick. You got all of these air gaps and things that are happening because you have these large food chunks. I know it's good. Chew it to a pace. Some of you are eating too fast. You're eating too fast. Here's another strategy. This is gonna sound really, really silly, but I promise you, like this isn't something I just woke up overnight like some internet influencer. I'm someone that actually has gone through licensure. So there's a whole nother liability that's involved when I make certain statements. Closing your legs while eating. Closing, literally closing your legs, not just having them gap. You know how people sit and lean and their legs are wide open when they're eating. Guess what else is going to be wide open? Your stomach. So ghrelin is going to hang around a little bit longer. And guess what you're going to delay? You're going to delay the release of CCK, leptin and PYY and things like that. So I want to activate CCK ASAP. So closing your legs. So let's recap. 30 grams of protein. If you're really truly trying to you're on a tight deadline, 30 grams of protein before you even start to eat food. Yep. Then we're talking about, excuse me, the EGCG from green tea, slowing down the pace and chewing your food to a pace, chewing your food to a paste, not chunks, to a paste, closing your legs. And then if you're willing to do just even a 20-minute walk, those right there, those three, well, those four, sorry, will actually help you what? Stimulate CCK so CCK can go hard in the paint. Any questions before I move on to the foods? And then I'm gonna open it up to see what's coming up for y'all.
Question. When you chew gum, is that the same thing to trigger something, or does chewing gum not count? Because that's chewing.
Yeah, you burning calories when you chew gum. However, depending on all gum isn't created equal. So it depends on what's in that gum. But not only that, typically gum actually is like a phantom. It usually makes people hungrier. Like it usually actually expedites the release of ghrelin because of a lot of what's typically in, gum. Like sometimes a lot of the, depending on the gum companies, a lot of them have the same crap that's in sodas. So will you burn calories? Yes, but typically you're gonna stimulate the hunger hormone instead of the satiety, excuse me, hormone that you want. So, I highly recommend, excuse me, if there is one, I'm not sure if there what's out there because I don't chew gum because it does make me hungry. So I don't play with gum anymore. But if there's a natural one, maybe that you can find in like a Sprouts or a Whole Foods or a farmer's market, that maybe somebody's created a natural one that doesn't have, the ultra processing that, my favorite Hubba Bubba used to have, then I would say absolutely, it could. But the act of chewing for some of my athletes, it would spiral them and derail them from where I need them to be that day. So I don't let them chew nothing. They're only drinking up until it's time to compete.
All right, cool. I'll have to check out. I've been looking at this neuro gum. It's supposed to help with energy and focus. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to like figure out how to read the. Oh, maybe I'll look it up on Amazon. They always have the description. And I'll send it to you, and you'll see what they have inside.
Ooh, I like that. Yes, I like having that as an option. So, mm, excuse me. Now, any other questions before I move on to the food options for CCK? Any other questions? Are y'all ready? If y'all ready for the foods, let's just say ready.
Ready.
Woohoo!
Ready.
Let's get it.
Ready for.
Ready, Freddy. Listen. All right, I'm gonna start with the protein. I'm gonna give you in order those that have more, right? Pasture raised eggs. Pasture raised eggs. Listen, if you ain't getting pasture raised eggs, you might as well get the other, the regular ones. Because I'm telling you, when they do all these marketing ploys with y'all, there's a big egg scam. Listen, that cage free, all that. Listen, that chicken playing out there on the jungle gym ain't got nothing to do with whether or not what's in that egg. So if you want to have, y'all know I'm a little country, so I had to have my students laugh when I actually say that. They said a jungle gym, really, Miss Wells? I'm just saying. that cage-free organic, if it don't say pasture raised eggs, because there's certain regulations when you make that claim, then you might well get the cheapest one then. Don't be paying these people to bamboozle you and hoodwink you. But the CLA, thank you so much, Kizzy, for dropping it in there for me. Mm. The CLA, that's in eggs, pasture raised eggs. Oh my God. CLA, CLA, CLA. I want to implant that in your mind. That's that conjugated, that linoleic acid, conjugated that linoleic acid, CLA, CLA. I need that to get in your head. That is what you're getting when you get the good eggs, the pasture raised eggs. Yes. And the antibiotic hormone free chicken. If you are someone that eats chicken. And if you're someone that's pescatarian and following more of a pescatarian protocol, as I am, then I would say like your cold water fish, like a salmon. Yeah. I don't eat sardines. The sodium in it is just it won't don't work for my biology. But cold water fatty fish. So if you notice the trend there, the omega-3 fatty acids. Yes. So pasture raised eggs, the hormone and antibiotic free chickens, if you eat chicken, you know, wild caught salmon or cold water, fatty fish. And then if you don't have any meat, then now you need to look at your seeds. And I'm gonna say the trilogy blend of like the chia seeds, the basil seeds, not the farmer basil seeds, like the actual edible basil seeds, the hemp seeds, as well as the flax seeds. Those are, again, it's not as rich as the sources that I mentioned as far as protein goes, but those omega-3 fatty acids, that the CLA that you are going to get, it is going to help you stimulate CCK. And then next, avocado. The one that the ingredient I love to hate. Y'all, I can't stand avocado. I don't like it, but I found a way to consume it. So if you're someone that likes avocado, so for those that are in the fat family, avocado is one of the quicker ways. So typically, if I'm going to use a recipe for my guys that can't necessarily consume, then I'm going to have some avocado mashed up into that smoothie that they're going to consume. And I usually have them take it to the head, a shot of olive oil, EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. Typically, particularly, I hope that you use one that's in a glass bottle and a dark glass bottle. Yes? So that way you don't have to worry about those plastics getting into the actual source. Excuse me. All nuts are not created equal. So if you are looking to stimulate CCK and you are someone that likes nuts, look at walnuts. I'm talking about Walmart, walnuts, or like sliced almonds, those sorts of things. But those two specifically could really truly, and if I had to throw a third in there for you, I would say pecans. But walnuts will be one of your best options when you're specifically trying to target CCK. Now, if you're someone that's a cheese eater, cottage cheese, yeah, for me, dairy hasn't been friendly to me. So, cottage cheese is another one that can stimulate CCK. Again, try to get something that doesn't have all of the fake stuff in it. And then Greek yogurts. That's also a way that you can easily put your seeds in as well, like your flax and chia and basil seeds. So when I do consume like Greek yogurt 3 times a week, that's when I add my seeds to it. So if you're looking at a nut butter, please be mindful. Check the package. I don't get like the thing that I don't like about Justin's. I forgot who had bought them out, but they started putting the same foolishness that's in peanut butter. And if any of you have been following me for a while, you know I'm not a fan of peanuts and peanut butter at all. At all. That undoes you. You don't want to fool with that. So some of you have to check those almond butters because they become so popular. I forgot who bought Justin's, but they put the same foolishness that's in peanut butter. So if you're gonna go the almond butter route, I highly recommend that you check the package first. to make sure it's not blended with canola oil and peanut butter and some of the other things, right? Because canola oil is kind of like thinking that you could be a little bit pregnant. No, you either is or you ain't. You either is or you ain't. You either you pregnant or you're not. So I just want to make sure that you don't have, big sugar around here playing with you like that. A second. Oh man, don't tell me. Oh, I didn't resume my recording, y'all. I'm just too upset with myself. Anyways, let's keep going. We cooking. So, I personally like to recommend to people to consider either like a pecan butter if you want to go the nut butter route, um, or even look at tahini, right? So, any questions thus far on the protein or the healthy fats? Because I'm going to get into the fiber rich, which is the fruits and the veggies. And then that's it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Broccoli. Broccoli. They're not all created equal. So I'm giving you foods that for sure are stimulating to CCK specifically, right? Blueberries. And if you can tolerate them, apples. And if you are someone that all apples are not necessarily created equal, if you can go the green apple route, some people don't like them, but apples can help stimulate. But I would choose the blueberries first, right? The anthocyanins really truly go hard in the paint for you. And if you're someone that can tolerate oats, that's an option. And if you can tolerate black beans, that's also an option. Oats and black beans are non-option for me. So, but it could possibly work for you. So, I just wanted to give you some food options if you're interested in the cheat sheet and wanting to make sure that you have like an easy to follow guide just in case you forgot any of these things. Or what the heck CCK even stood for. I have that available. I respond quickest on Facebook, so I'm easy to find. I'm Abundant Health Services on all platforms, and you can check out my replay of this on my YouTube channel, or you can back channel me on Clubhouse if you'd like this cheat sheet. But I am most responsive on Facebook, so if you send me a message, I can get that cheat sheet out to you immediately, or you can email me at to myabundanthealth@gmail.com. All right, the floor is open. What has come up for you guys? Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Kenzie, I don't have a question, but I wanted to say to you, Health Wells, and good morning to everyone here. That was an excellent, excellent session. I mean, literally dropping gems at 30 minutes. And I hope that everyone was able to grasp what you were speaking. I'm a registered dietitian consultant, and I do this day in, day out. And I love that aspect of the sports nutrition, because even though you're dealing with a high performing athlete, even the layman, the regular person, can take these nuggets and apply it to them live so they can have a more efficient life. And so even when you were going through the protocol, I was sitting there, health, I'm like, check, 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 check. I love the checks and balances. Like, yep, 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 yep. So I just wanted to reiterate what Health just spoke. Everything she spoke is facts. Facts. And I love, thank you for saying this. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit in my feels a little bit. I'm so grateful you said there is a huge difference in between what the professional does versus the person who gets a little 6-month, 10-month, 10-week certificate calling themselves a nutritionist or whatever wellness person. When you are scrutinized by the boards, like we literally have to take tests, we have to do CEUs, we have to go through training. Our knowledge base comes from a source that is checks and balance, not just giving you some little bad diet or some little tricks to the trade. So you can trust the source. You can trust what's coming out of Health and as she is speaking. So I just wanted to validate that. And I did the check marks on everything you spoke. One thing I forgot about, y'all, this is crazy. Because remember, it's not just the nutrition, it's actually what you do with your body. I forgot about closing your legs when you eat. Isn't that wild? I was like, yeah. So anyway,
Oh, I was around here trying to do that GIF because I was like, when you said that part about the closing of the legs, that the guys give me the toughest pushback, especially like your centers, like the really big guys. They'll be like, I was like, hey, well, if you would not have had a whole pizza this weekend, we wouldn't be in this mess. Now you could easily not do it and pay that fine. Listen, it's real. So when they think about that, yeah, but what about the sauna? You ain't finna get in the sauna enough to be able to. You gonna have to close your legs. Close your legs a little. I ain't saying you got to close them as close and tight as a woman does, but I'm just saying that these are things that can help. And a lot of people don't necessarily, a lot of guys don't realize that. So you don't have to close them all the way, but even if you close them some, and again, food order, let's say if you wilding out, y'all. Food, here's something that we discovered in sports medicine. Like, get the protein first then. At least give yourself the opportunity to get the higher, caloric burn rate. You get what I'm saying? Because protein is far more expensive, that meaning the chewing process. You get what I'm saying? Versus when you're getting some junk food. So I really truly try to, talk about those type of strategies. And tonight during Rucking and Bucking with me and GA, I'm going to go over PYY and I'm going to talk to you guys about the water cure. And I'm going to bring it all together on Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. But listen, y'all, there's so many things that you can do that could really help you just as you slow walk some of this stuff. Maybe you don't have time crunches that I'm held to. And I'm so glad that Kizzy, as you can see, as a registered dietitian, listen, when you got to go through licensure and the sue happy, I'm in Florida, y'all. Look, people sue happy here. Listen, there's a whole lot of attorneys that eat well here because you can be sued very, very easily. So I just really, caution you to just test things out to see what type of foods work for you. As you notice, I've mentioned things that my immune system just don't like. It just don't like it. And one of those big strategies that I really use for those who really struggle later in the evening, being able to cut it off. I wish I could use it, but my immune system want to go to war with that. And there's something called cognac root. Oh man, I love it. It's one of my favorite in my tool cabinet. But Kizzy, when I tell you my body can't stand it, oh man, I wish I could use it. I wish I could use it because it really, truly, I have been able to use that as a secret weapon in my vault. So I would love to take any other questions, comments, feedbacks. Um, I promise you, like there's so many things that you can do. You don't have to go to no doctor and get no injection. I ain't telling you, and I'm talking about people who got type 2 diabetes and you're dependent on Ozempic and all these other kind of things. I'm talking about those of y'all, you know who you are, not trying to judge anyone. I'm just saying there's some things that you can get from food. You don't have to take the risk if you don't want to. There's other ways that you can do, you can stimulate other things. GLP-1 is not the only one. That's just one that they figured out how to monetize. But CCK is powerful. PYY is powerful. So I would love to take any questions that you guys could
Yeah,
have.
help. No, go ahead, Valerie. Okay. Good morning. Shawnte, I have a 20-year-old twin athletes, 17-year-old, 15-year-old. The 20-year-old twins and 17-year-old need to bulk up. I want to ask about the peanut butter until I can get them off of peanut butter because I don't like it either. What's one that is good to use, until I can wean them off of it. My 17-year-old is a wide receiver in college football, and he needs to bulk up, but he likes to eat those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
So pecan butter is one of those secret weapons. If they like the texture of peanut butter, I will say pecan butter. Now, if they like the taste of peanut butter, then tahini is going to be that closer match. So I would say either one.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, you can get it. I tell people, listen, you can get, I'm a country girl, so I like the pecan butter because I like the consistency of it because I like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm just saying, y'all, I still do. I grew up as John like to say, Uncle John would say, like when they remove the R, you that poor. That's how poor I grew up. Like, listen, so PB&J was a big part, of, my upbringing. And so I enjoy it. So, we can still find other ways. And so I love that you brought that up. And I hope you take advantage of the Calendly appointment. And so, I can definitely help your boys and see what type of, I know over the summer, do you know if they're doing like 2-a-days or 3-a-days, or when they're going to start their conditioning?
That all sounds familiar.
Okay.
It's
That's
coming
okay.
after school lets out on the 17th, like on the 20th or so. They're all starting their football camp and the basketball thing.
Yeah, because usually we have the guys like they come, they weigh in. That's where, I start getting the puppy dog looks like, Wells, I'm like, man, they're the excuses. If you was wilding, just admit it. Just tell me what you did so I can know how to undo it. You get what I'm saying? So there's a way. There's a way. So I love joking with them like that. But yes, pecan butter or tahini is what I would say. And bulking up is not as easy as people think, especially for a wide receiver. Y'all, their metabolism, they've been gifted a type of metabolism that is out of this world. So it is so hard for us to put weight on them. I'm serious, y'all. Like it is super, super difficult and challenging, but there's a way. There's a way. So
I'm glad you, and I know you know it. I do have one last question. Tonight, are you going to be talking about closing your legs?
yeah, so the after hours, hey, Maisha, so the after hours one will be the 2 weeks from now, but we are going to be talking a little bit about closing your legs, but I'll be going over PYY. Hey, coming from that Michael Jackson, pretty young PYT, pretty young thing. So it'll be spicy, but it won't be as spicy as the After Dark one. For sure, y'all. I can't wait. So we're talking about rucking and bucking, y'all. Me with Shawnte and GA tonight. You do not want to miss. We're gonna be wilding. We're gonna be wilding. But in 2 weeks, we gotta wait till Mary Nan go to sleep. So that one will be at 9 o'clock. But normally we're Mondays at 7 o'clock. So we will be here tonight, and I will be continuing on with another satiety hormone that can really help you called PYY. Woo!
I was gonna say when I'm talking, I'm trying to convince people to keep their legs open, but I just wanted to say that I love your rooms, Health. Like I'm so glad I caught you this morning. Something told me like I'm in the middle of my workout, and someone's like get on there. And one of the reasons why I love your rooms is I used to be a certified personal trainer, certified uh, fitness nutrition coach, certified group exercise instructor. And when I hear your rooms, it reminds me, like click on, like it reminds me of what I need to do. It reminds me as I go through perimenopause, and I'm grateful to genetics. Genetics have helped me in ways that I cannot say, and people forget about that, right? But still, as my body is changing, I implement, to reminder some of the things that you are talking about, some of the things that you say. So I just want to let you know that just hearing your rooms, I'm gonna try to get in here Wednesday at 6:30. That's my tea time, my green tea time, because that's how I start the day. You see. But I'm gonna try to get in here at 6:30 to hear your room. And I hope I didn't miss you talking about. I hope you didn't talk about Eurolifting A yet, because that's been my newest. I still get in the bag from time.
I'm glad you brought it up. I was gonna ask you about that. I was like, I know I said that I was gonna be doing it in these coming weeks. So yes, you have not missed it yet. Go for it.
I look up this stuff, but I do it for myself now. I know that because especially after working with uh, uh, a functional doctor who took me through all these tests, and I was like, oh, this is so bio individual. Even planning workouts for people are it's personal training. I said I'm just going to use this information for my own body because that's enough right there for me. But yeah, this has been one of my newest obsessions as I've been going through this perimenopause track is building muscle and keeping that muscle and rebuilding the muscle that I've lost. So just thank you for everything that you do in these rooms.
Oh, I love that, Naisha. And yes, yes, yes. I'm looking fun. You know what? I'm gonna move urolithin A up on my list. Let's do it next Monday. How about that? Hey. So I'm looking forward to Medicinal Monday. Anyone else? You guys, I just really hope that this is something, these are things that you can walk away with. And again, like I said, I have a free cheat sheet for you, and it really walks you through just simply like why does CCK matter? The foods. I literally have little pictures with the foods and the habits that'll support, CCK. And I just really hope that you guys understand like you're intended to live long and strong. Like your lifespan, you need to look at it from 0 to 120. Middle age is not what we've been led to believe is middle age. Listen, middle age is really truly between 49 and 79, baby. When you 60, that's the true midpoint. That's middle age. You is not old. Stop saying you old. You are not old. Don't put your I am power onto that. Look at from 0 to 120. Now, if you were looking at your lifespan being 0 to 70, yeah, then you would think that 60 is old. 60 is mid age. That's middle age. Like, think about that. Michael Jordan is in his 60s. They're not, that 60 is not old. So I think if we could actually just change the our viewpoint, that is something that really truly God has put in my ministry to sound from the rooftops. I feel like Paul out in the wilderness, like I'm screaming and yelling, saying, please, please wake up, understand. Like 60 is not old, 50 is not old, 70 is not old. You're still in your middle age. You're not mature until 80. If you're looking from 0 to 120, I need you to change your viewpoint and your lifespan viewpoint from 0 to 120. You are designed. You have the DNA and biology that's capable of being a centenarian. And that's what I'm trying to get us on that pathway. So I want you guys to live long and strong. I need you to get Judas out your kitchen. Get rid of those canned goods. Unless you in Florida and in the hurricane areas and you got your little, canned good packs, emergency food type thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your day-to-day foods. Get the cans out because it's disrupting CCK's power and ability that to work in your life, along with other, things that were satiety hormones that could really truly benefit your health. So Shawnte Health Wells. Hope you guys are going to join me and GA for Ruckin' and Buckin' tonight as I go over PYY. Any questions before we close the room? I want to give anybody an opportunity. Yes.
Had a comment. Like, I think because people didn't live long back in the day, right? And disease was something that was prevalent, like for X number of reasons. I mean, oranges used to be the gold. Like, if somebody gave you oranges, it was like a Christmas gift. It was on that level because it wasn't very easily accessible. That because of that, I think people see even 40 as old because people were grandparents by that age already. And so, well, some people are already even today, but it was always seen as old back in the day because people didn't live past 40. And so as people started living longer, then it didn't really shift, right? People just still saw it as old. And now where people are living into their 90s, their hundreds, and still fully cognitive, all nothing declined, right? And actually fit. So now people are looking at longevity as something. Now how do I approach this, right? And so it's interesting to see how that is shifting in the health space, and also before it was all natural things. If you remember back in the day, people were making jams from scratch to make it through the winter, things like that. It was a lot more natural things, and people bartered. I think we're moving back to that time. I think in the near future, but people bartered. Like, hey, if you're doing the jams, I'll trade you for whatever it is that I was doing, right? So it's interesting how. I mean, people say history repeats itself, but I think we're heading in that direction now because people are going to farmers markets and getting all the things. There's so many people that have been doing honey from the farmers market that has gotten them relief from seasonal allergies because, with the pollen, right? So that's also been super interesting to see how that's been shifting as well because otherwise they're getting antihistamines and God knows what other drugs are out there, but they're getting all of these things that are allergy. I mean, I go into any type of like Walgreens type of store and or pharmacy, and you'll see that whole aisle on like anti-allergy medication over the counter. Like it's insane. So when you see that, you know that there is a prevalent issue. But again, back in the day, it was all done naturally. Homemade products, etc. And things we're eating at the moment. Not let me eat this 2 years from now. And how do we preserve this for 2 years from now? It was short term as well when they got bottled in jars and what have you. And there was a process for that. So it's interesting to see how things are moving in today's age. So back to you.
Yes, ma'am. And when you brought up the farmer's market, it reminded me like I have to go and get some honey for like locally here because I still have my honey from like Jacksonville. And I was like, man, this like why have I been so messed up with this past year with this allergy season? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's because I'm exposed to the different allergens that are more prevalent here versus in North Florida, right? So I'm glad that you said that because that reminds me. But yes, I see that happening a lot. And think about it. Overall, like we were actually smaller overall. You could look at any culture, any society, and we look at those that we ate more natural, real whole foods versus these. Even McDonald's was different back in the day than what it is now. And so when we look at the ultra processing and what it's done to our waistlines, I'm living proof because definitely it affected my waistline. So I just hope that some of these things, like people will find just solutions that will work for them because it is such an individualistic things. I'm sorry, y'all, that they were cutting the grass while I was out, working earlier. So I'm definitely having a reaction. So I already like ragweed is high in Florida. So my apologies if I've been sounding raspier because I'm sure I sound different than when y'all heard me earlier today. So that's why I'm stopping and trying to drink some more of this tea and the throat coat as well. But thank you guys so much for rocking and hanging out with us. Thank you, Dora, for a great segment and favor. And I hope you guys check out the replays. There's been some great segments today. And I look forward to seeing y'all tonight at 7 p.m. for Ruckin' and Buckin'. I'm sure GA has some phenomenal stuff for us. Um, Anyone else before we close?
This was great. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing everyone later.
Absolutely. And take one of those complimentary consults that I have available there. So if you guys want to talk offline, I do give you 20 minutes for free. And so we can get you going in the right direction, or maybe you have some things privately you prefer to ask. So feel free to get right on my calendar. Also, I put the information for Books in the Hood. We are definitely collecting, are still in need of books. We have 3 agencies that we're trying to bless with young readers in preparation for the summer. So Juneteenth is our deadline. So really, really got 18 days left to keep collecting to meet that goal. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Shawnte Health Wells, and we're gonna count it down. Dr. King said, always know that you count and always know that you matter because your life has ultimate significance because it does. You guys can unmic and wish everybody a great day. Woo! 4, 3,
Awesome week. Bye.
two,
Well.
yay! Peace. Hakuna Matata. Have a great day, everyone.